If you bought a property almost 10 years ago and it hasn't really grown, how do you know if it's time to sell or if you should hold out?
Sentiment on borrowing, investment, spending is quite low now.
This episode, we talk with lead research analyst from InvestorKit, Junge Ma, unpacking this month's listener's choice question. I've got a 2-bedroom apartment bought in 2017, but zero growth. Should I sell? Looking at New South Wales, zooming into Parramatta, and then into your listener's choice suburb. Is there just a ton of development applications in the pipeline, or is this going to start to slow down?
It's going to continue. Lots of commercial and residential developments are happening, attracting employment and also residents.
I mean, if we jump straight to is it a no or is it a go, I guess it's... We haven't talked Sydney in a while, so if you've been thinking about investing in Sydney, or if you've maybe had a purchase you've been holding for a while that you're now regretting, figuring out when to cut your losses is a very important lesson to learn. We're going to be diving deep into the data with Junge on this one. My name's Todd Sloan. This is the Pizza and Property Podcast. This episode is powered by Property Developer Network, InvestorKit, and Future-Proof Property Advisory. More about our amazing show sponsors in the show notes below. But right now, let's jump into the episode with Junge Ma. Junge Ma, how you going?
Very good. How are you?
Yeah, good. You ready to have another listener's choice episode unpacked?
Yes.
This one's going to be a fun one. We never talk about New South Wales. Well, not never, but very seldom on the show.
This is my first.
There you go. Okay. So we're going to be talking about New South Wales because of a question that Matt has sent in. This is Matt Anderson. Now, Matt's question reads, I've got a 2-bedroom apartment bought in 2017 for $620,000. Rents for $240 a week now, but zero growth. Should I sell? You get a question you want potentially on the show, unpacked by Junge or Arj. Make sure to click link in the show notes below and give more detail like Matt has. If you just say the area name, it's a bit tricky for us to actually give real direction to it. But now, Junge, why don't we jump into the state first, talk about New South Wales area, or more so LGA, of Parramatta. And then we're going to be talking about Wentworthville. You want to start with the state of New South Wales?
Yeah, why not? So for New South Wales, let's talk about its population and economy.
Cool.
Population, 1.7% growth in the financial year of 23 to 24.
How's it compared to the rest of the states?
It's
sounds a bit low.
It's a bit low, lower than Australia's average, which is 2.1%.
Okay, so not crazy lower, but definitely lower.
Yeah, lower. Yeah. And if we compare it with the strongest states, WA 2.8%.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Victoria 2.4%, Queensland 2.3%. Those are just much higher than New South Wales.
Got it. Okay. So population growth for New South Wales, not so strong.
Not so strong.
Okay. What about GDP, unemployment, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Unemployment rate doesn't sound bad, 3.6%.
That sounds all right.
Yeah, I think most of the states, regional and capitals, they are quite similar, around 3 to 4% at this moment.
Okay. What are some of the biggest differences then for New South Wales as a state in comparison to others?
Economic wise, I guess. Yeah. I think the high interest rates and high cost of living has impacted New South Wales a lot.
So because it's one of the more expensive, or especially Sydney, probably the most expensive
places.
Not one of, it is the.
Yeah. Sentiment on borrowing, investment, and spending is quite low now.
All right. What else did you want to talk about on a state level before we jump into the LGA of Parramatta?
State level, I think that's it. If we are going to mention something slightly better about New South Wales.
Yeah, a little bit of a positive.
Yes, it could be the annual wage growth. Not the top, but it ranks the third among all states. Year-on-year growth was 3.6%, and that is after Tasmania's 4% and Queensland's 3.9%. So that's, I think, one of the only strong side of New South Wales.
As much as it's more expensive, wages are also growing pretty strong. But by the sounds of it, Tassie's the leader of the pack there.
Yes. No, it's interesting.
Got it. Okay. Why don't we look at Parramatta?
Right. Parramatta population growth is better than New South Wales, 4.2% year on year. And that's also higher than Greater Sydney, which is 2.9%.
Is this because of the whole three, what is it, Sydney, is it Penrith, Parramatta, they're all going to be this megaropolis or whatever they're calling it?
That's definitely part of the reasons, because lots of commercial and residential developments are happening in Parramatta, and that's attracting employment and also residents. And another reason is Parramatta is high in overseas migrants. It has many suburbs with a very high proportion of overseas migrants.
And because we've just had, what was it, like 500,000 people almost come in just last year from overseas migration.
That's
and
the
so
surge.
a large portion is going to Parramatta.
Parramatta.
Got it. Okay. And when you're saying like construction, was it construction? Basically, there's a lot of building going on there.
Yeah.
Is this potentially a part of Matt's problem as well? Like, is there like a massive supply of units?
Yes, that's part of the problem there. Why it really didn't grow well.
Okay, so our population growth, pretty strong, 4.2%. What other data points do you have on the LGA of Parramatta we can go through?
We have the unemployment rate, surprisingly low, 2.7%. That is lower than the state average.
2.7%. Okay, so the LGA is looking better than the state.
Yes, unemployment rate-wise. And I think this is probably because of the demographics in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of young people live in that area.
Well, I guess especially if it's very much fueled by overseas migration. I would imagine most overseas migrants are, what are they going to be, like 15 to 35, 40, that kind of thing. You're not going to be migrating when you're 80 the same way. Right.
And that's the age for work. And I think most of them came with a job offer or they...
Some kind of skilled labor.
Yeah.
Or skilled profession.
Right.
Got it. All right. So what about like GRP versus GDP, like for the comparison of state and LGA level? Is everything pretty strong for the Parramatta, like at GRP?
GRP, no, it's actually in line with the average. It's last year's growth was 1.4%.
1.4.
Very much in line with the New South Wales 1.2.
Gotcha. Okay. So a touch better, but not like sheep stations.
Right.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so as far as Parramatta is concerned, can we dive a little bit more into the units? And obviously units aren't something we really talk about a lot on the show, but this is very much pertinent to Matt's question. Pertinent, I never use that word. This is very much relevant to Matt's question. Can we unpack a little bit about this supply that's going on?
Yeah, as we were saying before, Parramatta has seen a lot of new apartment buildings in recent years. And because of that, the unit market in Parramatta just grew by 19% in 10 years.
That's horrible.
No good.
Didn't Perth do that in a year last year?
I think so.
I think it was actually more. I think it was
20-something. Yeah, 20-something.
Right. Okay. So 19%. Over the whole 10-year period. So that's like 1% per year, isn't it? 1.8?
Even lower.
Because it's not 1.9 because it compounds. Yeah, gotcha. All right, so that's dismal. And now, is this mainly because of like an oversupply? Is that what you're seeing?
I do think oversupply is the main reason.
Got it. So as far as this oversupply of units is concerned, like is this looking like this is going to continue? Is there just a ton of like development applications in the pipeline, or is this going to start to slow down?
I would say it's going to continue.
Yep.
There's one website you can check, actually. It's called urban.com.
Urban.com.
It has all the apartment development projects there. I just went to Parramatta, New South Wales, to 150, and I saw a crowd of new projects happening there.
Right. And we're not talking new projects as like 1 into 2 splitter blocks. We're talking about proper apartment buildings.
Apartment buildings, skyscrapers, and big complexes.
Right. Okay.
I have 2 examples, actually.
Yeah.
I just clicked on some of them and found these 2 very interesting projects.
Okay. What do you got?
The first is 142 Macquarie Street.
Yeah, 142 Macquarie Street.
Also in Parramatta, but I guess a few hundred meters from the CBD.
Just in case you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, check us out on YouTube so you can actually see what Jung's talking about. I'm physically just leaning over the table right now. Yeah.
I'll show you here.
That's huge.
A complex, 3 buildings. The tallest is 60 stories. And in total, they should have 900-something apartments.
I love apartments for lifestyle. Like it is cool. It's fun, especially when you've got a beautiful view.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about more proper towers coming in, I can already see where this is going for Wentworthville and Matt's question. Things aren't probably going to get better, are they?
Not really.
No.
And
And you had another example.
Yeah, I really wanted to mention this. It is 160 Church Street, just right in the CBD. A 90-story skyscraper.
90 stories.
90 stories.
Okay. 60 was already pretty big.
Yeah, that could be the tallest building in Sydney.
And this is just like floated as an idea, or this is actually like how far down the pipeline? Can you tell on this?
It is. Let me have a look.
Because I know every now and then you get stuff that's like, hey, we can possibly build this. Like I think Adelaide had this one, like, and it was called like the Dominator or something really like weird, but it never happened.
It is in planning.
Yeah.
No completion date yet, but it's in news. Status here is in planning, not started yet.
All right, so lots of activity though for the LGA of Parramatta. Let's dive into the suburb of Wentworthville. What do you want to talk about first?
Price level.
Price level, done.
Yeah, median unit price there, 588,000. Slightly lower than the LGA's median of 710,000. But as more developments come, I believe this median price will be pushed up a bit.
Got it. Okay, so 588 versus 710. So it's much more affordable.
Yes.
Okay. And
yes, I would say.
So median unit price of 588,000. What else we got? What's next?
Next, last 1 year growth. Just 1.3%.
1.3%.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's slightly better than the LGA itself. Could be because of the relative affordability. Parramatta as a whole, it's actually declined by 0.8% last year.
So Parramatta as a whole has gone down almost 1%, but Wentworthville has gone up 1.3%.
Yeah.
Okay, so in contrast to each other, Wentworthville is doing well. In contrast to the rest of the country and other asset types, Wentworthville, like Matt, you're probably already guessing where this is going, but let's keep going further.
Okay. Inventory level not too lower because of unit markets. We have much more supply. 4.7 months of stock.
4.7, okay. And just in case you're a little bit newer at this, if you're looking for more 3 months of stock, that's a balanced market. 4.7, it's not great, but that's also not terrible.
Not really terrible.
Yeah.
Definitely higher than the house market inventory, but compared to other, suburbs high in apartment supply, it's a relatively healthy one.
Okay. All right. So inventory levels definitely higher, but they could be even worse. What else are we looking at from a unit perspective in this area?
Vacancy rate, it's an interesting one. While it has 40% of its dwellings being apartment, vacancy rate is just 0.8%. It's actually very healthy.
That's surprising. Yeah, okay.
But another surprising thing is rental growth. Even with this low vacancy rate, rental growth is slowing down. Last year, the growth was 5.5%. It's much slower than the previous 2 years.
So 5.5%, and that's slowing down. So it was higher beforehand. So basically what I'm seeing here as a picture is like Matt shouldn't have any problems renting his unit. The growth of the rent it's going to be there a little bit, but it's slowing down.
Yes.
But as far as capital growth is concerned, if we jump straight to is it a no or is it a go, I guess it's
a go for selling.
It's a go for selling.
Because Matt is asking, should I sell?
Yeah, and we have to preface this, Matt, with obviously like this is not financial advice. Do not just watch this episode and just sell. There is so much more to your own personal situation.
You're right.
But jumping into a little bit more detail into what Jung's really opening up here, what I'm seeing is the comparison to other choices that you could be making moving forward. And something else that I want to make real clear as well. First up, Matt, is like just 10 points for actually like giving it a go, mate, because so many people that come on the show, and you'd see this all the time at InvestorKit, Jung, it's the analysis paralysis. Taking that first step can be the scariest thing that you do. Personally, my story, similar to yours, mate. I bought wasn't off the plan, may as well have been, apartment, held it for 10 years, bought it for 280, sold it for, I think it was 330 after 10 years. Hardly anything happened. I learned from that. I moved on. I hope that's what you take from this, mate, and I hope that you speak with the right people, that you've got your accountant in your corner, you've got a good mortgage broker behind you, you surround yourself with people that know the details of your personal situation financially, so you can start maybe shifting the money into places that are going to perform way better than 1.3% per annum for you, mate. But I hope that's answered your question. Like I said at the start as well, if you've got an area you want to send in, give us as much detail as possible so either Jung or Aj can pull it apart. But Jung, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about with Wentworthville, the LGA of Parramatta, or New South Wales as a whole as we wrap this one up?
I think that's it. Yeah, you've summarized it very well. Nothing from me now.
Junge Ma for Investor Kits, always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.